Hello everyone. How are you guys doing today? Good? It's so nice to see you guys again today. Do you remember what you're going to do today? Quiz. So when do you want to do it? At the beginning or at the end? End? Okay. So we are going to start where we left off yesterday. We are going to do one example, like the last question we did. And then we have 2 more word problems from 1.1. And then you'll go to 1.2. So next to Tuesday, you have your homework 1.1 due date on MyMathLab. Section 1.1 next Tuesday, midnight. You are not lost. You are on the correct classroom. There is one chair here. You can grab it if you want. Okay, find the equation of the line perpendicular to this line. And that perpendicular line goes to the point 6, 7. Do you guys have any question before we start? Any question, comments, concern, complaint? Do any of you have any other classes besides this class? No. So you came here only for me? Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay. So the main idea here is that we have a line increasing. Where I just got the last class, it worked fine. So we have an increasing line, which is y equals 1/4 of x minus 3. We are looking for a line that is perpendicular to this line, and it goes through the point 6, 7. What's the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the given line? So what is the equation of any line? How can you start this question? Y equals mx plus b, but it doesn't help us, right? Like we need m, we need b. What do we have here? Good. This line gives us the slope 1/4. That tells us what's the slope of the perpendicular line. Negative. You flip 1/4. 4/1, which is simply 4. I mean negative 4. So that perpendicular line, it goes to the point 6, 7. Also, it has the slope negative 4. This is the information we know about the perpendicular line. It has a slope 6, 7. Sorry, it has a slope negative 4 and point 6, 7. Now you can use y equals mx plus b, but one of the easy method is start with y minus y1 slope x minus x1. If you start with this equation, that means all you have to do is replace x1, y1 and slope, and then solve for y. So y minus what? 7, perfect. What's the slope? Negative 4, x minus 6. So this is the equation of the perpendicular line. So we distribute, we get y minus 7, negative 4x, and then what? Plus 24. And then what do we do? The last thing? That's 7. So y equals negative 4x plus 31. So this is the equation of the line we are looking for. This perpendicular line, it has this equation. Y equals negative 4x plus 31. And you can verify the line is decreasing, so its slope has to be negative, and we do have a negative slope. Okay. Any question? No? Comments, concerns? Nothing? Okay. Now we talked about line. Now, when do you use this linear information in our real life? This is one example. When the price is $50 per radio, a producer will supply 100 radios each month for sale. So price is $50. He produced 100 radios. If the price goes up by 2, means $2 in increase in the price. So if you increase $2, the $50 becomes what? 52. So when the price is 52, the producer will supply additional 6 radios. So 100 radios becomes how many radios? You're producing 6 more. So it becomes 106. When it's $50, he produces 100 radios. But when the price goes up by 2, means that $50 becomes $52, then he produces more videos. Sorry, not videos, radios. So he produced by 6 units more. So instead of producing 100 units, he produced 160 units. Now they're asking, how many radios he should produce if the price is $72? Okay. This is a linear scenario. $50, 100 radios. $52, 106 radios. Good. Then for $72, how many radios we have to buy? Sorry, he has to produce. Any idea? How do you start? $72.50. Okay. 106 or only 6? This is one way of doing it. What is another way of doing it? Using the information we learn in this class. No idea? You have this information, right? This information will tell you what's the rate between money increasing and radio producing, right? At which rate these two are changing. In other words, that will tell you the slope. So let's say this is X and let's say this is Y. Okay, so X is independent. Depending on your money, you produce your radios. So your money is independent and X is always independent mostly. So the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So how much we have? What minus what? What are the y's you have? Come on, guys. Am I talking in Greek language? We have y1. So we have y2 minus y1. So what do we do? What do we get from here? We have y values 106 and 100. Just subtract them. How about the axis? What axis we have? 52 and 50. So what over what? 6 over 2, which is 3. So that's how you have 3. What he mentioned, you have to multiply by 3. So basically, we have an equation y equals y minus y1 slope x minus x1. So y minus, let's take this information to get our linear equation, because this scenario represents a linear scenario. So you can just find a line, and it doesn't matter what price they give us, we can always find how many radius we want. So our y1 is 100, slope we found 3, and our x1 is 50. Y minus 100 equals what? What do you do on the other side? 3x minus 150. And then what do you do the last thing? Add 100. In your homework, they will ask you for the equation. Or in the exam, sometimes they ask for the equation. What is the linear equation that represents this scenario? So that's how you have to find the line, the linear equation. What is negative 150, positive 100? Positive or negative? Negative. So x is the money and your y is the number of radius. Now, lastly, they're asking us, hey, I'm giving you $72. How many radios you need to produce? So what is our x here? 72. And then you do the math. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7, 21. So how much you have? Without calculator, you have to do this mentally. Not mentally, you can use pen and paper. 166. So basically, it's saying that how many radios? 166 radios. When the price is $72, so if someone pays $72 for one radio, he's willing to produce 166 of them. And guess what? These are actually final exam questions. Sometimes or many times, there is one word problem you'll see in the final exam from the linear section, 1.1. Is a question? Was anything unclear, confusing? Nothing? Okay, then we have one more question. Same scenario, think of it for 1 minute, and then we are going to discuss. Are you done thinking? Not yet. Ready? So what information we know? $600 miles take $375. But 700 miles takes $400. We want to know how much is the money when you have to drive 613 miles. So it's somewhere here. For 600, it's 375. For 700, it's 400. But then between 600 and 700, if you drive, how much money you need to have in your pocket to buy your gasoline? So what do? Volunteer? Average rate of change, which is slope. So you can gain your slope from this information. Well, let me do it here so it will be clearer for you. Come on, it is. Okay, I have to write it again, no problem. 700 gives us $400. Then 613 needs how much? So this gonna give us our slope M. Whatever what? Go ahead. 700 minus 600. 400 minus 375. So what is your X here? What is your X and what is your Y? The cost are X. This is your X, this is your Y. But then you didn't give me Y over X, right? You gave me X over Y. You, oh, Y over X. Okay, yeah, sorry, my bad. So you have what? 100 over 25, which is, you can pick anything as anyone, but then at the end you have to see what you're looking for or what you're replacing with. So y minus y1 slope x minus x1. Y minus what? 600 equals times x minus 375. Actually, let's take the other one because it's easier to multiply. Let's take the 700. Then I don't have to do 375 times 4. We can easily do 400 times 4, right? Which is easier. You can pick one of the points. It doesn't have to be exactly x1, y1. Any one of the points. So y minus 700, 4x minus easy, right? 4 times 4, 16. So 16 is 00. What do we do next? Add. We add. That tells us y equals 4x minus 900. So here our X is the money and Y is the miles. Now, what's the last information we have? The money or the miles? Miles. I feel like something looks bad. So miles and money. If X is the money, X goes on the denominator. Okay. So they gave us the mile, which is 613, and they want us to find how much we have to spend. So what do you do? Solve for X, so add 900. We get 1513 equals 4X. So it's not the whole number, it will be a decimal. Did I make a mistake anywhere? No, right? 613 miles. Okay, and then we do divide by 4. Without using calculator, you have to find how much is this. So do you remember your manual division? If you're done, you have to refresh your memory. We have 4 and we have 15. 4 goes to 15 how many times? 3. 3 times 4 is 12, so we subtract. How much we get? 15 minus 12? 3. And then we bring down the next number 1. So 3 becomes 31. Now 4 goes to 31 how many times? 7. 4 times 7 is 28, so we have to subtract. And how much is 31 minus 28? 3. So we have another number extra. We bring this down now. We have 33. 4 goes to 33 how many times? 8. 3 times 4 is, 4 times 8 is 32. We get 1. But since we're dealing with money, so we have to go to the decimal. We put a decimal here, and we put a decimal here, and we put a 0 here. 4 goes to 10 how many times? 2. 4 times 2 is 8, so let me do it here. We have 10. 4 times 2 is 8, so we subtract, we get 2. And then we can put as many zeros as we want. So we can put another 0 here, because for money issue, we go to penny, right? 2 places after the decimal. So we need 1 more place after the decimal. Now that 4 goes to 20 how many times? 5. And this time we have no more remainder, 0. So our X is $378.25. Does it make sense? Yeah. We have 375 and 400. Between that, we have 378. So it does make sense. Yeah. Let me check the answer. Yep, the answer is correct. So yeah, in your exam, you may have to do manual division with the decimal. Any question? Comments? Concerns so far? It's up to you. Even if you pick the dollar to be Y and the mile to be X, you'll get the same result. So for linear function, this is a one nice thing. If you don't know in real life scenario what is what, pick anything. You're supposed to get the same results. Any other question? Go ahead. Where do you see 4x minus 9 here? Yeah. So your goal is to solve for x because x is the money. And you're looking for money. How much money you need? That means you have to solve for x. So to solve for x, you get rid of 900 and then divided by 4. you get 15/13/4. So it's a money problem. You cannot leave the fraction alone. You have to convert this into decimal. You have to see how much is the money. That's why this manual division. So if you're bad with manual division, you have to refresh your memory. Any other question? So expect to see one of these in the final exam. Sometimes they do, not always. Sometimes in the final, they give one real application of linear function. No question? So you're done with 1.1. So you're going to have your homework 1.1 due next week, Tuesday midnight. And now we are going to 1.2. It's about money again. Who did I sign in? Anybody else did I sign in? 28. Okay, more application of linear function. So in this class, in this section, we are going to talk about real life scenario. Like when you go to a job or when you open a business, you need this type of information. The first one is cost, revenue, profit. We all deal with this in our life somehow, somewhere, sometime. So start with cost. For example, when you become adult, you are going to move out from your parents' house and you're going to live alone. So you have to determine how much is it cost per month for living alone. Okay. So in order to determine the cost, you need to, let's say you're opening a business and you want to know per month how much money you have to spend on your business. So there are two things. One is your monthly rent, and the other cost is whatever item you're buying, their price, right? Every store has two things must. And the monthly bill includes your rent, your electricity bill, all the other bills. So all the bills plus your price per item. So to determine the cost function, we write cost equals your monthly bill plus your cost per item. Depending on how many items you're going to buy for your store, you have to spend that much money. So if you're buying, let's say, a laptop, and you don't know how many laptop you have to buy, but you do know each laptop costs probably $1,000. So there's a fixed price for your laptop, and depending on how many laptops you're going to buy, you're going to multiply the price with the number of laptops you're going to buy. That's one cost, plus you have your monthly bill, monthly rent, monthly utility bill, all of this. So that's the cost function. Your monthly bill plus cost per item. Cost per item you multiply, and monthly bill you add. So it's a linear function. Y equals mx plus b. It follows the same format. Now let's find our monthly cost for this scenario. Suppose a factory has the overhead cost. Oh, overhead cost, the monthly bill rent, it has a fancy name. It's called overhead cost. So let's say the overhead cost is $100 and the cost to make each item is $4. So what is the cost function for this scenario? So we write C of x equals, my ink is too long now. C of x equals 4x plus the 100. $100 is the overhead cost. Overhead means monthly bill. So monthly bill plus cost per item. Whatever many item or however many item you're going to buy, that times cost for each item. Easy, right? But you're going to use that in your life. Just be an adult. Wait till then. If you're not already using them. You are going to use them. Now, you spent money, so you're sad. Oh, I spent so much money, I am broke. That means now you're hoping to gain money, right? Whatever money you're going to gain, that's called revenue. However money we're going to get by selling whatever we bought with our own money. So revenue is whatever item you're going to, or however item you're going to, however many items you're going to sell, times its price. So R equals price per item times the number of items you're going to sell. So number of items you're going to sell times each of their price. Whatever money you have, that's your revenue you're going to get back from your customers. So you used money, you bought money, so use money, you sold something and you got money. So let's do one example with this scenario. In the last example, we did buying. So we had our cost function. It was cost was 4x plus 100. And now you're going to make money. You're going to sell each item for $10. So what is your revenue this time? Revenue we represent by R. You are selling each item with $10. So what would be your revenue function? 10x. Number of items you are going to sell times cost for each item. Each item costs $10. Depending on how many items you have to sell, you're going to get that much money. Can you guess what you have to calculate next? You spent money, you got some money back. So what is your idea now? What you're thinking? Profit. Did I make any money by selling and buying? Let's see. Profit. How do you calculate? You subtract your cost from your gain. Whatever you made by selling, you subtract whatever you spent on buying them. So revenue function is, profit function is revenue function minus the cost function. Or the revenue is, profit is revenue minus cost. Whatever money you gained, you subtract how much you spent. So if you use the same example from before, you bought everything with $4 with the monthly cost $100, and then you got your monthly revenue $10 per item. So what would be your profit function for that scenario? Your profit, we represent the big P of X equals what? We know profit is revenue minus cost, right? So what is your revenue function? So in this scenario, the same scenario we worked with before, you sold every item for $10. So what is your revenue function? The answer is on the left side. Come on, guys. 10x. So revenue is 10x. And what is your cost? 4x plus the monthly cost. How much is the monthly cost? $100. But if I write this way, did I write correctly or did I make a mistake somewhere? We have to put parentheses because our cost function has two parts. And you're subtracting the two parts. Anytime you subtract more than one part, you have to put a parenthesis because the negative will be distributed here. In other words, you have 10x minus 4x minus 100. So what is your profit? What's the function? 10x minus 4x is how much? 6x. 6x minus 100. This is your profit function. Are you guys lost? Somehow? Okay, let's think about real life. Since we are talking about computer, so let's talk about computer. Let's say you are deciding to open a computer shop, computer store. So you went to the rental place and you asked them, hey, how much is the rent? They told you, well, your rent per month is, let me put the scenario here. You went to the realty thingy and they told you, well, in New York, how much is the rent? High, right? So let's say $10,000 per month is the rent. Okay, so you rented the place and then you went to buy your computers. You found that each computer is $100. Computer, not 100, sorry, $1,000. Each computer is $1,000. So you looked at your saving and you got, well, I have enough saving. Probably I can buy 20 computers to start with. So you have enough money to buy 20 PC. So how much you have to spend just to open your store? What is it cost? Say it louder, I can hear you. How do you figure out 10,000? 10,000, it's not 10,000, right? 30,000, how did you figure that out? So 20 PCs, each of them cost $1,000, and you also $10,000 rent. So how much you're going to spend, right? $30,000, 30K. So you definitely need 30K just to start your business with the minimum amount of laptop or computer, which is 20. Now you spend $30,000 from your saving, so you feel so sad. You're waiting so eagerly for the customer. So customer came one by one, and then you found that, well, the first day 5 customers came. Okay, so 5 people came in your store. You are calculating your revenue for the first day. How much money you got by selling 5 computers to 5 people? That's your revenue. How much money you got? You sold 5 computers. So how much money you got? 5,000. 5 times 1,000, you got 5K on your first day. And you're so eager to calculate everything, so you're calculating your profit. Did you make any profit yet? How do you know? What did you do? So you sold $5,000, so you got $5,000 back, but how much you already spent? 30,000. So what is your profit? Negative 25,000. What does negative means? You lost 25,000. You did not get any profit yet. So now you're willing to know, like, how much we have to spend so that I can gain some profit. So next day, let's say 10 people came and you sold 10 PC. So this is day one. And now day 2 came. You sold 10 people, 10 laptop. So for the day 2, what is the revenue? 10 times 100, 10 times 1,000. So 10K, 10,000. So what is the total revenue this time from day 1 and day 2? Revenue. So before it was 5K, day 1, you sold 5 computer. On day 2, you sold 10 computer. So 10K, you have 15K. Do you still have some profit? No. So it keeps selling again and again and again and again. So let's see, you sold, search, not cover page, not that, blank page. So day 3, you got popular, and then let's say 20 people came, no, 15 people came on day 3. 15 people came. So what is your revenue on day 3? 15,000. 15 times 1,000, which is 15,000. So you're calculating your total revenue now. Day 1, day 2, day 3. With all 3 days by selling all the laptops, what is your revenue at the end? 30,000. So total revenue now is 30,000. And how much you spent? 30,000. So your revenue and your cost is same amount. Now you're happy. At least I didn't lose any money. Whatever I spent, I got the same money back. You didn't get any profit yet, but still you're happy. This scenario is called break even. Good question. That means we don't get break even. Wow. Probably no. I meant in 15. That means you're never going to gain any money, right? Like you're always going to lose because you have only 20 PC, but you already spend more than that. With 20 PC, you're supposed to get only 20,000, but you already spent 30,000. So you calculated wrong. We can do that. Instead of selling for $1,000, we can sell for $1,500. Then you're going to gain money. So here you see that $1,000 will never going to give you what you spent already, or you're never going to get any profit. So you have to increase your price. But you got the idea, right? This is real life scenario. You work with bad money, you don't get any money back. You have to be smart enough to calculate your selling price so that you can at least gain whatever you sold, at least gain whatever you already spent. If you spent and your revenue are the same, that scenario is called break even. Break even. It means you didn't lose any money or you didn't gain any money. Whatever you spent, you got the same money back. Your revenue is equals to your cost, which is the next scenario. When do you get break even? When revenue equals cost, no profit. At the break even point, at the break even point, your profit is $0. You're not gaining any money, but good news, you're not losing any money. That's why in some business, break-even point is very important. Like our business, we don't get any break-even point. We're never going to get any break-even point because our cost is too low. Do you get the idea? Okay, now let's do one good example, not bad example anymore. In the previous example, we have cost was what? 4x plus 100, right? And our revenue was what? 10x. When you're going to get break even? For how many items our cost and revenue will be same? So what do you do? How do you start? Good. We know break even is when revenue equals cost. So make them equal. Our break even is when revenue equals cost. Revenue is 10x, cost is 4x plus 100. And they're asking for how many items you have to sell in order to get this scenario. So basically you have to solve for x. How do you solve for x? You subtract 4x, right? So we got 6x equals 100. We divide by 6. Can you divide 100 by 6 evenly? At least how many times 6 goes to 100? 6 goes to 100 how many times? 60? 16? Let's see. We have 106. 1, we get 6. We subtract, we get 40. 6 goes to 6, 36. And we get 4. Yep. So it has to be bigger than 16. Right? Even 16 doesn't make you, 16 will not give you break even. Because 16 is only 16 times 6, 96. 96. So in order to have your break even, you need more than 16 items to be sold. Do you understand my point? When you have 16, when you're selling 16 items, you are getting $96. But $96 not enough. You have to have $100. So that means you have to sell more than 16. It has to be 17. And you cannot sell half of the item, right? So either you have to sell 17, at least 17 items in order to get your break even. And then some profit. Question? Did you guys really understand the scenarios, all the scenarios? Right, 17 will give you profit. So you have to be between 16 and 17. In real life, we cannot get between 16 and 17 items. So this is also a better example for break-even. Something is wrong with break-even today. We are not able to getting any break-even. But I hope in the exam, they'll give you something that is easy to understand or easy to work with. This example, I hope this example is a good example. Try it alone and see what you don't understand. Where did you get lost? What is confusing? And guess what? These are final. One of the scenario you miss in the final lesson. I'll keep telling you about the final exam because in order to pass this class, you have to pass the final exam with at least 50. But passing the final exam is hard because it's cumulative. You have to remember everything. So if I tell you what will be in the final, at least you have some idea. You can collect those questions and study them before final. So second question, final exam. Well, actually, this is third question. One of the question will be find the equation of the parallel or perpendicular line. The second question, the application of slope. The one we did, radios, those thingy. And this is the third, the money question. Profit, revenue, break even, cost, monthly rent. You can work with your neighbors. You don't have to study, you don't have to struggle alone. Talk to your neighbors, have a conversation. Ask them what's their names. Would they like to exchange information with you? Would they like to be your friend for the semester? And then after 10 minutes, I'm going to give you a quiz. This might be our next week quiz, probably. Sales means how many items you're going to sell. Talk to your neighbors behind you. Talk to them. Say hi to them. Be friends with them. See, I already love them. Four of them are talking. My feet is hurting today so much, so I don't want to move around.
This way.
I have to check. Starting from here. Okay, so you're selling you're buying $3 per item. So $3 450 perfect. You're selling with $9 perfect. You're doing break even means 9x.
Yeah, so
minus this.
Yeah, so you got some more than 90 to break even.
Here it's exactly 90 because it's divisible by.
Oh yeah.
It is 540 divisible by 6, so it's exactly 90.
Can you do this more?
If you do more, that means you're gaining profit.
Okay,
so for break even, it has to be exactly 90. And then the profit.
Wait, I was still confused on
On profit?
No, not that. Like this, like I'm so confused. But here.
So you subtract.
So I was doing this.
You are adding 600 to both sides.
Yeah, I did.
you
I got this. Then how do I solve for 613?
And then they're asking for what they're asking for. Let me see. Oh, it's another slide.
The cost was 613.
So you're driving 613 miles.
Oh, so this is 613.
Because see here, you're saying your miles are.
Oh, so then plus, and that's
You add
513.
900.
Okay.
And then you get decimal.
And get this. Oh.
No problem. Ready, guys? Any volunteer? Volunteer for A, at least for A. First, C of X is what? Or 3X plus 540. Good. Revenue is R of X, 9X. So A is complete. Would you like to keep going to B or someone else? The break even means revenue equals cost. So 9X equals 3X plus 540. Subtract 3X. 6X, right? Equals 540. Divide by 6. X equals 90. So for selling 90 items, your cost and revenue will be same. Now, anyone else would like to try C? The profit equation, just the equation for now. So 9X minus 3X plus 540. That tells us 9X minus 3X minus 540. So what do you have? 6X, right? 6X minus 540. This is profit function. So C is asking only for the function, not anything else, only for the function. Now, anyone else would like to do? D. Volunteer for D. So my turn. Elise, help me with D. So you're looking for your profit, and this time they gave you, they gave you the profit of $1,500. Or you're giving me, tell me the equation again. They gave us the profit. So P of X is the profit. 6X minus 540. How large the sale must be means what is your X? What's the X? So what do you do? Add 540. So what do you get? Huh? 2040 is 6X. Divide by 6. So what is the X? Is 2040 divisible by 6? 340. Great. Now, you get break even means neither gaining nor losing is for 90 items. And if you want to gain $1,500 profit, then you have to sell 340 items. That's because your price is too low, only $9 per item. Okay? So real life scenario, you're going to use that a lot if you ever open a business. Who is willing to open a business? Like, who is thinking about being a businessman? Good. Anyone else somehow? Wonderful. Great, great. So good luck with you guys. You're going to need this information. Someday you're going to thank me like, oh man, I'm so glad she taught us that. Okay? So with this, you're done to this lecture. Tomorrow we are going to do more example about this. Not tomorrow, in our next class. More example on this, and then we're going to do 1.3, which is now probably we won't be able to finish it because we have lots of materials left. So what are you going to do now? Quiz time. So straight to your columns, and then take off everything from your desk. Get a piece of paper. Clear your desk. Get a piece of paper, and then your pen or pencil. Ready? Find the equation of the line perpendicular to this line, which passes through the point 20.